it is super cringe. But it's actually quite. So why is this going on now as opposed to when the TV show was actually on air? Like, what's going on? Why now? Right? It seems like it would make more sense when it was on air, right? So here's what I think is happening: that the who's ever overlooking Doctor Who has changed, right? There's been a change in the background, and there's been a budget allocated from somewhere to steer the brand, essentially, right? And so this is essentially an advertising sheet, but it's an effort to keep the brand viable. It's an effort to keep the brand viable whilst the show's dormant, which is probably going to be 2 years, right? The goal is to get a Christmas special for 2026. It's doable, right? It is doable, but like, it all depends on where they are with negotiations with other people, right? But anyway, that what's going on right now is we're in a holding pattern, and there's clearly a budget to support it that supports this, but also, look, Doctor Who right now needs a guiding light that knows what it's doing, like Steve Cole did in the 2000s. Right, when BBC took back the licenses from everything, apart from Big Finish, thank God, and it was Steve Coe, I believe, who oversaw everything, and he did a good job. I have to tell you, he oversaw it was the Blu-ray range, wasn't it? By then, yeah, he oversaw that. He oversaw everything in the Doctor Who realm, right? And there was a lot of stuff that he innovated, like he put on the BBC website, right? The telly snaps, was that in the 90s? I don't know. This was the wilderness years, right? I believe that was Steve Cole, right? And he also but he was also there to usher them through not making stupid mistakes. So their idea was, hey, you can make your own Doctor Who story with these telly snaps, put them together how you want. And he's like, okay, that's nice, but don't do that next. Right, don't do that first. Right, first do a recreation, right, of the original one. Right, will people be interested? Yes. It was like there was somebody there who knew what the fuck they were doing, right? So what's going on right now is there is somebody at the top of the chain that knows what they're doing, right? The idea of having the Hooniverse show is a good idea, right? The idea of doing Circuit Breaker, right? It's a good idea, right? It's a strong idea. But then as you move down the line, you only have fuck-ups, right? You only have fuck-ups who are like when they say, let's do a show to keep the brand afloat, right? They say, hey, let's do this shit, right? Let's make it, let's make it, there's the most cringe you can possibly imagine, right? I don't know. What's the most cringe? Probably this, right? When I was a youth, I dated a ballerina. I'm not exaggerating. It was a good youth, let me tell you. And it was around the time that Terror of the Zygons came out on VHS, and I was excited. Right, and we were together, and I was watching it. I was, in between passionate embraces, right? And the Scaracen scene didn't help me, is what I'm trying to tell you, right? That was super cringe, right? Super cringe until you see what the fuck? How can Crystal D and Tyrell Charles not be super cringe? Look at them. Oh, God. Oh, I feel my balls retracting to my body just seeing them. This was a good idea done badly. Honestly, you're all going to say I'm biased, but they should have gone to Dan Hadley to do it. I'm not even joking, very even hand. I think he would have done a massively superior job. Why do I think that? Because people keep stealing his format, right? He develops a format and he takes time and trouble, energy doing it, and then people go off and do exactly the same thing, right? It really is crazy, right? But like, it would have been authentic. It would have been representative, right? It would have been fun. It would have sold merch, right? But again, look at this. Is because at the bottom of the line we have morons, because this is what they're doing. What else are they doing? They're doing, let's do Dr. Ruth, not peacemaker, for circuit breaker. I'm dumb. I like fucking dumb ideas. Oh, they need somebody not stupid in charge, right? Or not in the chain of command. Because look, let's be fair. There is somebody stupid in chain of command. But it is interesting, though, that the BBC are putting resources into keeping the brand alive, afloat, which means in their mind, to me, Doctor Who is coming back. I don't think they're joking about that. I think it's gonna. I think it's coming back with a streaming partner, right? Again, there's it's my guess is they can't announce anything till War Between the Land and Sea airs, and they officially turn down. I mean, that might be May next year, all right? I mean, I'll scroll. All right. When did Disney sign a deal with Doctor for BBC? The BBC for Doctor Who. Doctor Who. Searching. Please stand by. Searching. October 2020, October 20th, 2022. So they may have to wait till October 25th, 2025, right? They really might have to, right? Or they may have to wait till after the War Between the Land and Sea airs. Because, like, why would you advertise that the world of the TV show you're making is now dead and irrelevant and gone? Like, why would you do that? That seems like what I would call a bad idea, right? Bad idea, right? Not a good idea, right? But you know, none so queer as folk. Look at it. Bad idea. It's just a bad. Well, that's what I think is going on. Doctor Who. Again, there is an interim management going on for I think how long till. Again, I think till anything's announced, or even afterwards, right? The question is, is it going to be shit again? And because like last two times, it's been shit. Nowadays, at least, it's very unpopular to be woke, right? It's very openly unpopular, right? But have the BBC got the message? I think Netflix has, although they're doing their woke Narnia. That sounds like a fucking nightmare. Right. Why take the most Christian thing in the world and like, hey, let's make that woke? I mean, I say that, but that's why, because the most Christian thing in the world. Look at what's the name, Weirdo Envito, whatever her name is from Oz. How weird is she? She looks normal and nice when she's playing the Wicked Witch of the West, right, or the East, or whatever. When she's covered in green, right, then she's normal. But when she's like being herself, she's a scary, demonic vision from hell, right? She really, I was like, whoa, what is up with that? Oh, I don't say that because I'm so fond of her. Anyway. Why did I get after that? Is Doctor Who going to be shit? Oh, Narnia. Is Doctor Who going to be shit? I don't know. I hope not. I really hope for a Dan Stevens Doctor Who. Oh, no, okay. My ultimate casting, my dream casting is Tom Hiddleston, right? I think he'll be great as Doctor Who because he would interact with the fans in a beautiful, delightful manner. like Johnny Depp as Captain Jack, who apparently also is coming back. Nobody has any new good or interesting ideas. There you go. So we have the sad news. The sad news by Toby Adoki here of the passing of the great Chris H. Bidmead. Am I pronouncing his name correctly? Right. By the way, from the last segment, 71. 7169 says, "Hi, Rabbi. The UK government can change any law where they see fit to. The COVID totalitarian restrictions to mass movement access prove that. And also throwing people in prison last summer. No reason why the ECHR can't everything they say is nonsense, right? Everything they say is just nonsense. Anyway, very sadly, Chris H. Bidmead has passed away. So he came in when did he start? Let's have a look at his let's have a look at his IMDb or whatever, his Wikipedia. He came in as, I believe he came straight in as script editor, right? And he gave Doctor Who exactly what they needed when they needed it, right? It had a real where is it? But yeah, it was like the swing away from the frothiness of Douglas Adams, which was considered at the time to be really, far like out of date, where everything had to be much more serious, right? So he got the job from Ian Stewart, Robert Banks Stewart. Oh, that guy's name is an anagram. Recommended for post as script editor. He was primarily responsible for the back-to-basic approach for his year-long tenure, attempting to curb the more playful fantasies oriented by his predecessor, Douglas Adams, in a more naturalistic and scientific style of presentation. Yeah, but again, it worked for the era, right? It totally worked for the era. Hang on, just Doctor Who episode guide, Doctor Who episode guide. But what happened there? We'll try that again. No, that's not what I wanted. Which Doctor Who episode guide. Do I want to resume browsing? Or Google search? Just Google search. There you go. Fourth Doctor. So it'll be season 18, wouldn't it? So who was the script editor over here? And again, the Leisure Hive was just such a handbrake turn of modernity with John Nathan Turner taking over. It was apparently so fine. He started with the Leisure Hive, but he was still the script editor by Castrovalva, no? Written by, but who's the script editor? Oh, Eric Sable's script editor now. Fine. But and yeah, I've read articles of him being very, very critical of Russell T Davies and Doctor Who in the first run. I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, so we jumped from look, season 17, while it does have City of Death, Doctor Who is kind of running on fumes a little bit by season 17. Like, and it feels old, it feels kind of a bit threadbare. You got things like Horns of Nyman, Sharda, which never got made, Nightmare of Eden, Creature of the... Yeah, I mean, it's feeling just a little bit, knackered, tired. And then in comes John Nathan Turner with Christmas Beaming, and it's just the new titles, and the show's reinvigorated, and fandom was elated, right? Elated, and it had a very different feel now, right? Again, Logopolis, like the Doctor's looking at a mathematical problem, right? Keeper of Tralkin, again. This is all much more contemplative and somewhat twee sci-fi that they end up going for, right? And I think, generally speaking, it worked quite well. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, generally speaking, I think it works for, especially for the era. And then he went on and he did Castra Valva. And again, we wouldn't if we. What I'm going to say, being I think we'll never get things like Kinder, right? Shame about Time Flight. That's all I can say. But yeah, like I would say a significant figure in Doctor Who. R.I.P. At Chris Bidmead. Although well known as a science guy, he had an underappreciated gift for poetic dialogue. Yes, look at Keeper at Traken for that. I mean, I think there's a lot of his influence. Shardovian Shardovian is eminently quotable. I don't know what Shardovian is. I don't know. I had the pleasure of visiting him once at home. He was charming, warm, and engaging. I'm sure he was. It's a sad passing. 84. That's young. That's young in this day and age. Yeah. Anyway, he did the track. What's the name was Franchos was good, but it was really let down whenever the tractators moved. Right. They did a adaptation of Hollows of Time for Big Finish, and it was really bad. Right, really bad. He also contributed to a reference book, Behind the Sofa Celebrity Members of Doctor Who. I don't think I've heard of that. Let's see if I can see. If I see the copy, the cover, I should be able. I do have this. Yes, it was a charity book from years ago, from 2012. Blimey, I do have this. Interesting guy within, and again, at the time he was scripting Doctor Who, he was like on the cutting edge of computers. He was like really in to the cutting edge of what was going down in science at the time, in like cutting edge popular science, right? So good for him. So Stephen Moffat, right? Another unique voice in Doctor Who, has got a new show coming out, and I'm hoping it's going to be good, right? I like Stephen Moffat's work a lot. So when's this coming out? I'm not sure. Stephen Moffat sees his new show, number 10, and why it isn't really about politics. Well, you could say the West Wing wasn't about politics, right? I've always been intrigued about what goes on in that ridiculous little toy town street that runs Britain. That is a very good. I mean, like, I love that way of explaining it. Yes. Not now, Cato, you fool. Stephen Moffat, the writer behind Sherlock Douglas's Council, with an Inside Man. And more recently announced his new series, number 10. I haven't seen Douglas's Council or Inside Man. I should really give both of them a try. But despite initially being billed as a political drama, he's revealed it isn't really a show about politics at all. Former Doctor Who showrunner exclusively opened up to Radio Times about. You've got to bet they're begging him to come back as showrunner right now about the new series, which will begin filming in December. He described it as a more of a workplace comedy that follows all the unique characters found around 10 Downing Street, from the Prime Minister to the conspiracy theorists working in the shop in the basement. Okay, that's so fun. It's kind of like a weird upstairs downstairs kind of thing. He explained, I've always been intrigued by. I've always been intrigued by what goes on in that ridiculous little toy town that runs Britain. So number 10 is not really about politics. It's more about everyone's going to think it is. It's just about it's just about what it's like being there with them. I mean, again, yeah, I think if you certainly avoid, obviously, obvious political parallels, this really could be a good character piece. The two most powerful people in the country in the attic, the worst coffee shop you ever seen in the basement, and basically not through with mice and a nuclear deterrent. It's just the most remarkable address I can think of. There's quite a lot of comedy. It's a funny place, he teased. I wanted to write an ensemble comedy like it many years ago in Press Gang. They did many years ago in Press Gang, and you need a workplace for that. And you get ultimate workplace. If you get hung over there, you can't start a war. When's it starting? It's going to air on Channel 4, right? One thing it does to them all of them is ages and 15 years in about a year. We're also cynical, but okay, fine. I am. You got me on board, right? You got me. It's like a modern day press gang. You got me on board. Yeah. Man, so many people became stars from press gang, didn't they? They did very well. Dexter Fletcher, he went on to doing production, didn't he? He had a lot of good roles. Look, good luck to him. I'm very, very well disposed to Stephen Moffat. I think Stephen Moffat gave us a bunch of really great doctors. The Matt Smith era was fantastic, right? I think I mean, look, the problem with the Matt Smith era was it started stronger than it ended, but it was still like pure Doctor Who all the way through, right? It's and then you had the War Doctor, which I thought was a somewhat brilliant idea. Worked fantastically. The best thing going on at Big Finish, amongst the best things going on at Big Finish, is the War Doctor. I mean, look, what Big Finish does well, it is recreating eras of Doctor Who where everybody's dead. Right? They can't do it. They do it very well with the first Doctor range with Stephen Noonan and Lauren Cornelius. They do it very well with the second Doctor range with was it Michael Troughton? I think it's Michael Troughton, not David Troughton, isn't it? Hang on. They do it very well for the third Doctor with Tim Treloar. Right, they do it very well for the War Doctor. The only one they haven't done it very well for is Matt Smith's Doctor or Peter Capaldi's Doctor. They did try with Jake Dubman doing the 12th Doctor. Now I talked about this the last week in that I am not buying this release on Big Finish because it is a total bloody ripoff. Right, it's 4 stories, 2 of them that I'm not interested in at all, and basically it's just they're putting John Culture on this one to get you to buy the release, right? And I'm not buying, right? I'm not buying at all. And also, look, they're doing like a collected Halloween special stories, and again, the whole idea behind them is poor because. They should be kind of like big Halloween stories. I always consider Water of Mars to be a good Halloween story, even though they should have aired on Halloween, but it didn't, right? But I always thought that was a good Halloween story, right? And they got another release of Christmas stories. And again, they should do it what would a Tom Baker Christmas story look like? So they kind of missed the point with us. But they have John Coleshaw doing his voice, right? Now, John Coleshaw, I think is excellent. His Brigadier is fantastic. His Andy Doctor is fantastic, and it's not an impersonation because he's also an actor, right? So here they put out a video of him talking about it. Let's have a look what he has to say. Where is it? John Coleshaw is the 12th Doctor.
To have studios today. Today has been the first time of recording some of the dialogue.
For the 12th Doctor, as Peter Capaldi, what a wonderful atmospheric voice that occupies just here great sense of attack and as velvety as the jacket of John Pertwee or Peter himself.
That just sounds perfect to me. I'm sorry. Right? That just sounds absolutely perfect. Was Brian Fuller fully pissed off? So must be something to do with Dexter Seeley directed Bohemian Rhapsody. Really? Did he really? That's fascinating, Pete. I've kind of heard something about that before. Right? Wow. Okay.
I can remember getting a text message from Nicholas Briggs. John, are you free for a chat quite soon? And I thought, ooh, this sounds interesting.
Again, and when I say Big Finish is good at recreating lost eras of Doctor Who where the actors aren't available, And that really is the best stuff they got going on, and it's all overpriced. I mean, but it's like that really is. Again, Jonathan Carey is a War Doctor. Just more often than not, you're going to get a really good box set, right? They're just really good stories. And I didn't get the last one because they did what they always do, right? They did what they briefly did with the first Doctor range, and they stopped making Stephen Noonan the star of the range. They made it more about Stephen Taylor, right? And it was a real miss. I was really sad it was a real miss. I really look forward to that release every year, right? And there's other one like who did the Companion Chronicles, but it's not the same, right? I was very disappointed, and they do have a habit of like inventing, like coming up with these really inventive ways of doing great Doctor Who that shouldn't be possible, and then they kind of like pull the rug out from underneath their own feet for no apparent reason.
I wonder what this is going to be about. A few messages later, we'd arranged a Zoom call, and we were recording a live run of Dead Ringers at the Hay Festival in 2024 in May. And Nick said, do you do a Peter Capaldi? How would you fancy being the 12th Doctor for us? And before I'd even thought about it, before I'd even considered it, before I'd done anything. Yes.
Listen, for an old school Doctor Who fan like John Coleshaw, Peter Capaldi is the like that Doctor was invented for people like John Coleshaw. Right, it is the perfect strange blend of Tom Baker and John Pertwee, with like micro expressions of the other Doctor, and like honestly, you've got to check it out. Like, what was it? I really noticed it in what's it called again? The Dalek two-parter. What was it? I think the first episode of Dalek two-parter, you kept getting little micro expressions of other Doctors, and it was fascinating, right? How he did it, I don't know, right? But it was absolutely fascinating.
Grabbed instantly as that, and I thought, wow, delicious. And I've never really done a Peter Capaldi before, only very broadly, but to get down into scrutinizing mode and to really just absorb as much familiarity as you can, just get it etched onto your subconscious, a bit like that. When you look at a light bulb and then you close your eyes and you can see the outline of it.
Okay, I mean, this is clearly an experiment to see if it works. What they should do with this is what they did with Blake 7, which worked tremendously, right? They tried a box set of, I think, 4 interconnected stories set in this and Blake 7, set in the middle of season 3. And so it made like a bigger, weightier story, and that really worked. Generally speaking, the box sets of individual stories are now much weaker. The ones where it's like one large story are much stronger. Like the War Doctor Morbius the Mighty, for example, from their relaunch, that was one of the stronger ones, right? But generally speaking, War Doctor stuff does like continued narrative. He Who Fights Monsters, I think that's another. They're all normally very good, right? So look, what they should do, if this works, is with good writing, right? With good writing, have a 12-part Capaldi season, right? There's so much room for it, and set it after. Set it after season 2, his second season. Well, that'll be 8, 9. Yeah, set it after season 9, right? So it's a blank slate, and before season 11, which is when he's much older. There's so much room you could do stuff, right? And you companion, but make a season. That's really you want to do something great. Make a season with our Dr. Alex's season 14. That's a good place to start.
You want to try and do that with the audio, with the voice, with the nuances. Listen to them to such an extent that it's on your subconscious and you can express it in as free a way as possible. That's the way to go at it, really. Peter Capaldi's era, wow, what a blessed and treasured era.
I'm treasured, yes, but blessed? No, it was blessed with Peter Capaldi. I agree with you there, but it was cursed with Sherlock in the first year, cursed with Clara in the second year, and the stories weren't bad, right? And cursed with being fired in the third year, right? It was we should have got another 3 seasons minimally
of Doctor Who. That really is. I mean, it has the best of everything: the mystery and the otherness and the eternal wisdom of the Doctor. A stunning cast all around the Doctor. Stories such as like Twice Upon a Time.
Again, these were strong ones, but again, in his first year, I mean, other than his towering performance, I like Into the Dalek, and I like Flatline is great, but that's it. Really, Mummy on Orient Express.
Wow, the Zygon inversion. The Witch is Familiar.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
These are some of the finest Doctor Who stories ever made. And the way Peter Capaldi plays the 12th Doctor with such mystery and so many aspects of the earlier Doctors.
Mystery and playfulness, right? I mean, I loved how he calls the first Doctor Mr. Pastry, right? Which is a rare fault. They want to get Mr. Pastry to be the fourth Doctor, I think. The
irascibility but lovability of the first. The wit and merriment of the second and the fourth. The warmth and charm of the third.
That's what I will say is 80% now. That's 30% of his makeup right there.
The 10th, to an extent. Every little aspect is like a beautifully cut diamond, and it catches the light in its own way. It's a blessed era of Doctor Who.
But blessed for Capaldi, right? Which we're not going to see again because they fired him.
To watch that over and over to prepare for playing the 12th Doctor with Big Finish, you couldn't wish for better homework than that.
Well, okay, that's pretty fair.
I think the first thing you want to try to do is, through watching lots and lots of episodes, is just remind yourself of how you feel when you're watching that incarnation of the Doctor, how you connect with the character, how you connect with that.
How do I feel about it? Like, honestly, it's an interesting question. There's a different vibe for each. Like, it's a very different vibe between the 4th Doctor and the 12th Doctor. And the 12th Doctor feels a bit more. What's it? Triumphant, maybe, right? Like a bit more like completely, internally connected, right? The 4th Doctor seems much more insular, right? But also kind of a wonderful person to spend time with. Duncan Funky Evans he says you got unsubscribed. That's YouTube, baby. Like, share, and subscribe.
Self of the Doctor, and in your own performance, you're trying to evoke that aspect of performance to transmit certain things that you felt, and then what you.
Honestly, I really recommend you if you haven't heard any John Coltrane stuff. Yeah, actually, you know what? A great showcase for John Coltrane. It's let me see if I can find it. Big Finish. Matt, I love it that the website opens up straight away now, right? I really do. Where is it? No, not 45. Oh, there you go. 40. Yeah, let me just pull this up. Doink. So this is a great one for John Coltrane. It's a great little. It's a 8-part Alton story, 5th Doctor Alton story. So John Coltrane plays a lot of people in this. The Ainley Master, Chameleon, Brigadier. But again, everything gets a unique performance, right? So John Brigadier and Chameleon. Oh, wait, doesn't he play he plays the Ainley Doctor as well, right? The Ainley Master, I should say. Nobody else is down for that. Hang on. Chronicle. Anyway, but yeah, look, if you want to check out his ability as again, his acting ability, this is a great example. $27 isn't so bad for this, actually. I was going to say it's overpriced. I honestly, if it was $9.99, I'll say in a second, absolute a second, you should buy it. Right? This is I've really got to give this a re-listen. It's a really great Doctor Who story.
Local patterns and everything like that. That's the top coat of varnish. That's the little finessing layer that you put on there. And with Peter Capaldi, it's the great changes of pace. You know, his actions and presentation and style sort of matches the speed of the character's thought.
You know, one moment it might be very, very thoughtful and very, very pleading and persuasive. And then there might be a great dash of anger and then back to being witty and very dismissive again, but in the most beautiful, dry kind of way. And there's something about the way that that voice will boom and then soften and then fall away like a spoken thunderbolt.
Honestly, I really hope they do more of them. But Peter says Station was horrific, like horrific beyond you can't even imagine.
With an audio-only performance and the many different.
Wait, one second. More Dexter Fletcher. Dexter Fletcher took over from Bryan Singer partway through Bohemian Rhapsody. He also directed the Elton John biopic Rocket Man. Did he really? Good for him. Right, good for him.
Facets to Peter Capaldi's Doctor. There are so many, you know, a great, great moral character, a beautiful, supremely witty sense of impatience at times, but, you know, desperately caring. I think Colin Baker once described an aspect to the Doctor whereby the Doctor could rather nonchalantly walk past a war zone and then burst into tears because a butterfly had died. I think there are certain complexities.
Yeah, that sounds like a shit story, Colin. Let's not do that.
In the 12th, which are very much like that. And the speed of thought, the changing moods which reflect life and the late heavy bombardment of the formation of the solar system. Life can echo that. And I think you get that with the 12th Doctor. The way that you capture...
we need to hear some more Capaldiness now.
That... on audio-only productions, well, the writing does it so beautifully. You can really see what's in the mind of the writers, that they're thinking and feeling this fast-changing, you know, sensibility, one after the other, this kaleidoscopic blend of changing aspects in the personality. So the writing does a lot of it for you. I think.
I think the idea behind that was Capaldi was like the ultimate amalgam of all the Doctors, right? Much in the same way I felt Missy was an amalgam of all the Masters we saw, which is why I felt it really worked.
With a voice,
you know, you can hear when a character's smiling. You can hear a smile. You can hear great anger. You can hear great understated sternness, and you can hear something quite sinister. And yeah, connect that with. Try to imagine.
Again, look, these are the great building blocks. I hope they do something with it. Really, genuinely, I hope they do something with it. They could really do something epic with it.
How the listener's receiving it and just play into that theatre of the mind. I was mighty nervous about putting down the first recordings that will actually be heard and will actually be used today.
Okay, so they're going to be doing more. Good.
You should be, really. It shows that you're in there, you're invested if you feel like that. That's always a sort of slightly counterintuitive, reassuring.
And they could do a great Brigadier 12th Doctor story with just him.
Sign that you take to yourself. I think it was a sense that when you know how well...
this is the story they should do, right? The 12th Doctor is like untethered in time. Right, and the only thing connecting him is the Brigadier. So he keeps popping up in all the different points in the Brigadier's timeline, right, for different stories. And so you have like young Brigadier, middle age. That's the way to go. Oh man,
loved an era of Doctor Who is. You feel that responsibility, and that you've got to convey that, and you've got to.
Why can't more people feel that way today about the things they do?
Communicate it, and then when you just got the flavour of the way that the 12th is written in these tales, Oh, that really is, the wind is in your sails then. And we've done a few little scenes today. And the upshot is I can't wait to crack on and do some full days of all of this. The 12th Doctor's speeches, some of the finest in the history of the show. Peter Capaldi's speeches are right up there with
Homo sapiens.
And they really are. I mean, but again, I think it's because you got that great combination of Stephen Moffat and Peter Capaldi, right? It's the same way Hitchcliff, Holmes, and Tom Baker.
Here they are, out amongst the stars, they're indomitable.
It's up there with those. So, courage isn't just a matter of not being frightened. It's being afraid and doing what you have to do anyway. These wonderful resonant speeches, they're right up there. That combination of just the acting power of Peter Capaldi with the writing genius of Stephen Moffat. That's a heck of a combination. The thought that there'll be...
Doug's got a weird idea here. Maybe do an audio version of the 10th Doctor, but replacing with the 12th. Why don't we just do the 12th?
Beautiful speeches of that feeling to get into. And we had a couple today. And there's just something about the animated energy and just the truth.
You can feel it bursting from the eyeballs as he communicates these messages. Oh, human beings, why are you so stupid not to realize this? Please, just realize it, and everything will be better. I shouldn't have had to be saying this again.
That feeling. Peter delivered these speeches with the power of the force of a water cannon, but also the delicacy to...
Well, look, I mean, every doctor has to have a doctor's speech, right? Where they become the doctor, right? I mean, it's... honestly, I think for Paul McGann, it's like these shoes are perfect, right? That just really... it felt like he was a doctor at that point. I loved the Everybody Lives speech, right? I think David Tennant was just all round... I can't remember his first big doctor moment. Would it be the confrontation in the Christmas invasion? I don't know. I have to really think about that. Matt Smith, when he put on his outfit at the end of 11th Hour, he was the Doctor, right? That's on my intro reel and stuff like that. And Peter Capaldi, I mean, again, he had great performances in his first year, but let down by the scripts, I think, because I think the focus was on Sherlock.
Just touch the soul in the blink of an eye. How does he do that? Astonishing.
So I am intrigued and elated. Hopefully we're going to see more. Let's see what is any news about it anywhere. John Carter, the 12th Doctor. Fine. So we're looking at this over here. See. Is there anything that's going to say? Big going to the going to be the only source of New Who and proper Who stories for a while. Yeah, again, at least till 2026. Christmas 2026, which it won't find the first time, but like it's like they've really lost their. You can't recreate. You need youth and vitality, and they, as a company, they don't have it anymore. They really don't. Look, the wokeness has just marred them down. It's a real shame because they were innovative at the time, very innovative, and the innovations, generally speaking, really worked. So yeah, he's going to be on the Halloween Sea Smoke and Other Stories, the box set of full cast audio dramas due for October. Big about everything 2013, 2017 encapsulates all the time travelers' past selves, his acerbic and era about the vast lifetime of experience, and bursting with compassion and determination put things right across time and space. The iconic incarnation will return for a new adventure this Halloween, blah, blah, blah. But there's not much else, right? They're telling us about this. And I'm not buying it. I am really actually genuinely annoyed about this. Like, I don't want to Kate Stewart and Osgood story, right? All Bev wants to do is host a yearly Halloween party and he'll have a fractured relationship with her girlfriend. Fuck you! Oh, for fucking hell. Like, really? Really? Like, I read one sentence and we got lesbians already. And again, no, I don't want to see lesbians erase from reality, but why are they in fucking everything all the fucking time? Another reason why I'm not watching it, why I'm not paying for this. Annika, fine. Well, again, I'm sorry. If there's any form of sexuality, it's always fucking lesbians. Oh, and again, if I could go back in time and tell my 13-year-old self, the future's going to be so awful because you get inundated with lesbians. I'm like, really? How can that be a bad thing? Right? Unfortunately, her reclusive upstairs neighbor have been invited to the festivities, and all they want to do is feast. Okay. He's talking audacity. Yeah, I wouldn't buy an audacity story. Are you kidding me? And 12 Dogs on written by Hannah Kennedy, I've never heard of before. Right? There is no way. There is no way that we're that I'm going to buy this. But I was distracted because this is the picture. I think this is my new couch. Where is it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. Right? Oh, we got a better price than that. There you go. Although the cup holder is on the other side of that chair on our one. Pretty sure it's a new couch. Sorry, I was distracted by it. You can buy both of them 50 to buy the physical one. You get it's $48. How much? Wait, how much? Oh, I see. So yeah, again, 33.70. This is how many discs is this? 4? 4 discs for like 33.79. That sounds a lot. And how much is the bundle? Wow, $64 for download. But I don't know. Honestly, I think that's way too expensive. And you know, again, I'm really looking forward to them being able to do more Capaldi, right? But yeah, no, I'm not spending that. It's just not happening. That is genuinely just not happening. We should look at that as well. Yeah, 1 second. Where was I? Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Okay, bunch to go through. Doink. Fine, let me just close down a couple of windows. R.I.P. Chris H. been made. Where are we up to? We'll get to you in a second. Former Doctor Who boss reveals verdict on the Billy Piper regeneration. I mean, listen, I think whatever is openly just saying it's shit. Right? It's absolutely there's no pouring perfume on this pig, right? Because it's shit, right? It is absolutely shit. It's such a bad idea. I think Chris and Billy worth getting. The first one wasn't, right? The first one was deeply mediocre, right? It's again, you know, they're just gonna be. The scope of their audience right now is very limited, right? It used to be Big Finish was very expansive, right? We're trying to find going in new directions and new ways, right? Now it's not expansive anymore. Here, I'll show you, for example. We'll do what's new, and we'll go. Was it? They came out this month. Yeah, so Ninth Doctor. It's a meh release. It's not bad. It's nice seeing them together again, but it's like it's not like riveting, right? The Sixth Doctor I didn't bother getting because like it's more feminist Perry. Darling, I'm sorry that you have a lovely pair of tits and people have lusted after you all your life, Nicola. Right? I apologize for that, but you do have a lovely pair of tits. And people have lost that. And also, you look like you're an incredible fuck. I mean, and you just do. You know, and I don't mean that in any form of disrespect. Right? River, so all these things seem tired. I mean, Sky seems like they're trying to do something new, but everything else, it just seems tired. right? And I don't think Sky's going to go anywhere, right? They tried and tried with other shows. They always crash and burn, and they crash and burn because they got a terrible reputation now. Like people won't give them opportunity. Whereas 15 years ago, let's have a look. Fine, yeah. Look, we were pushing. The Big Finish was pushing the boundaries of storytelling, right? You had this Eighth Doctor adventures, and they were going great. Nevermore was a great season, right? It was very forward moving, right? They were trying to do different things with the main range, right? Stephen Cole wrote this. I don't think this was terrible. It was trying to bring in an older Nissa with the Fifth Doctor crew. This is actually excellent. I mean, for $6.74, I recommend it highly. The Pit and Pendulum, written by David Soul. They did 4 of these releases. They're really good. And Echoes are great. Again, a really forward-thinking story, like a story where it had ambition to move forward, right? Where it was moving. It felt like a vital and living piece of Doctor Who, right? And still here, Cradle of the Snake, Project Destiny, Finder and Place. That was a great one. Mervyn Stone, I didn't hear any of them. Demon Off, that was great. Again, yeah, all this it felt like it was moving forward and doing something new and interesting, right? It doesn't feel that way today. Everything feels tired and stale, right? Apart from, weirdly enough, the recreated Doctors. This again, I was going to buy this, and they just totally put me off. Axelon, I'm probably going to buy, right? I'm quite into that. Can we master? No. Yeah, I like, they weed me off Bernie Summerfield as well, and it's not like the economy is so great you can drop you can buy 3 or 4 sets a month now, right? I bet this is. It just feels tired to me at this point. I don't know. Maybe it's just the cover. But Big Finish is just not what it used to be. Really, sadly, because it used to be fantastic. All right, genuinely fantastic. Where is it? Oh, no, fine. So let's see what Moffat has to say about this. So he's promoting his show, which we don't know what's going back. The final scenes of Saw Shooting Cat were regenerated into Rose Tyler actress, making a huge comeback for her. Really. Notably, though, Piper wasn't credited as a doctor, which always happens previously when new doctors are introduced. Now, again, the plan was to run around for a little bit, flick some switches, and then turn into the actual actor. They just didn't have anybody casting because they didn't know what they were doing, because they didn't think they're going to get any more episodes, because they're not. And there was so much confusion about whether Piper will be playing the 16th Doctor or not. Look, what I think the BBC would love to happen is to do a Christmas special where Billie Piper then separates into her and David Tennant, and they're like, well, what are we doing here? And they have an adventure together, right? Looking older. That's what I think. That's what the BBC would love to happen for Christmas. Man, that would get bums on seat. A Christmas Doctor Who with Billie Piper and David Tennant. Fuck me. They would. Oh God, would it be shit? Who would write it? Oh, I'm scared even thinking about it. They've not said she's a doctor, so I don't know. I don't know if they know. They don't. Clearly, he's in the same boat as us. However, along with the other showrunners, Moffat is uniquely qualified to know what makes a great doctor. Not Billie fucking Piper. When asked what the doctor, what looks on qualities of the doctor, and what qualities the 16th Doctor should have, whether it ends up being Piper or somebody else, he shared, attractive but odd. Man, that worked with Matt Smith. There's something utterly odd, a sort of benevolent, kindly, slightly incompetent impersonation of a human being. The Doctor is never quite right. Moffat added, he's really trying, or she's really tight, not she, and they're not quite there. I'm really cool just because I got a bow tie. I'm really cool. I got a bow tie. I got a nice suit. I put on my trainers. And something just off kilter about them, right? There was nothing off kilter about Ncuti Gatwa other than he was super gay, super and relentlessly gay. Above all, it should be someone the kids will want to run up and take the person's hand and feel absolutely safe. Yeah, that is not Ncuti Gatwa at all. That's why I love the idea of Tom Hiddleston being the Doctor. He's so great interacting with people, right? Above all, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That's what the Doctor's about. Somewhere between Indiana Jones and Willy Wonka. Oh man, he's always on the He's always on the ball. Stephen Moffat. He understands Doctor Who. I really agree with that. There's also going to be a slightly dangerous, the most dangerous person in the universe. Although things, that's a tall order. Piper recently opened up about her return Doctor Who at the Florida Supercon, saying, "This is such a minefield. I will engage with how I answer. All I can say is I was approached very last minute. I can't talk about it in what capacity, but I found it very emotional to film, and I think it's a really great ending. I'm glad you think that, darling. It will be. I mean, it will be a great ending if it wasn't just sheer and pathetic desperation." And it's sheer and pathetic desperation. It is. That's the only way you can describe it. Sheer and pathetic desperation. So yeah, I have to lie a lot about doing anything I do with Doctor Who. Well, that is true. That is true. I really wish that those audios were better. Fine. So yeah, speaking about the audios being better, again, this article is about to prove my point why Big Finish is in the shitter, right? So it's essentially the home for new Doctor Who, and I don't want to. Like, this offended me to my core. This was the anti-Doctor Who, right? Just because Ncuti Gatwa was worse. Which I can't believe. Could you imagine going back in time saying, yeah, Rusty Aver's going to come back and it's going to be actually worse, right? Actually genuinely worse. I can't believe it, right? Blows my mind. It really does blow my mind. Well, Doctor has been on hiatus before. Another series is greenlit. The show is in while Doctor Who is on hiatus before another series is greenlit. The show is in limbo, and again, I really want one to stress. There's a different team and a different budget managing it now than it was during the Ncuti Gatwa era, right? They're in it. They have an interim management going on, which I think is quite obvious, right? The show's in limbo, but fans are clamoring for more stories, and they don't complain about and they don't have complain about what? And they don't have complain about can go to Big Finish. Wait. But fans clamoring for more stories that they don't have complain about can always go to Big Finish. It's production. Essentially, they're trying to introduce Big Finish to the modern audience, which, mate, Big Finish. There's so much that you're doing wrong, right? These aren't audio at all costs. And this is essentially a Big Finish information piece. Big Finish has been an exciting universe for hardcore fans for some time now, with it 25 years. When Rusty David revived the series in 2005, the audio dramas didn't stop. They lost half the audience. By the way, which is why I think woke toxic fandom's going away. Why? Because I found, and pretty much every other Doctor Who YouTuber has found, that my views have been cut in half, right, over the summer, right? I just don't see them like coming back, and that's because Doctor Who is not an ongoing concern for most people, right? So this is just trying to convince people to buy Big Finish. That was quite good. Was it with the David Tennant, Tom Baker one? But it was too short. Okay, fine. Please buy Big Finish. It'll be good. We promise. And they're adapting the 7th story, which I did quite an extensive review. Do we know what date it's coming out? Not sure. They do let you know the dates every now and again. I don't know. Maybe yeah. Did they say in Vortex magazine? How do we get to Vortex? Is it news, podcasts, about? Is it in podcasts, you think? Vortex, there you go. Doink. Again, so sometimes they hide like exclusive little bits of information within these stories. September 2025. There's this thing sometimes gives you the dates, but no, not this time. Oh well. Again, this is why I like. You can embrace this as much as you like. All it does is like force people away. Is John Colsher in this as well? In V? Yeah, mate. You know, there was a Dirt Mags V thing with starring Colin Baker. Dirt Mags V audio Colin Baker. Didn't star him, but he was certainly in it. Independence Day UK. Ha ha ha! Yeah. This was it. Independence Day UK, and it had Patrick Moore was in it. Oh man, this was really good. If you can find it, it's really worth it. And they had Nikki Campbell as himself, Patrick Moore as himself, Mark Goodyear as himself, Toya Wilcox, Flight Lieutenant Becky Johnson. That's funny. Simon Trees, Colin Baker, Group Captain Phil Johnson. Teresa Saranovitz, who plays, I think, Darth Maul now as well. Man, Danny Minogue. That's so funny. Danny Minogue was like famous back then, having quite a nice ass. Okay. Fine. What else we got here? David Tennant isn't ruling out another Return to Doctor. Please, David, rule it out. But again, what do I think BBC would love to happen? Oh, they would get hard from happening. Is that Billy Piper then breaks into two people? It's her and the 10th Doctor back for one last time to fix some universal imbalance problem, and they have a Christmas adventure together, right? Before they let go and they regenerate into the next Doctor. Right. Could we see him back in action in the future? God, I hope not, but probably. Oh, I hope not, but probably. After making a triumphant return for the... It wasn't triumphant. It was sad. It was sad and somewhat pathetic. Isn't ruling out the another Doctor to come back. The Doctor who played the 10th Doctor and the 14th Doctor returned in 2020 when he returned to reflected on his love for the show during a recent Michael Rosenbaum podcast. When asked if he or his wife, who played Jenny and Doctor, would consider returning to the show, I think it would depend on the circumstances we're in. I mean, if I can make a buck out of it, sure. He added, I went back a couple of years ago. I did 3 in a row, and it was an absolute joy because I was returning for a short period of time. However, the actor has previously suggested he has no plans for returning in the near future. They just kept him alive for no reason, right? Oh, wait, that's what they do, right? Billy Piper regenerates, and suddenly David Tennant's Doctor comes into the TARDIS. Have they struck the TARDIS set, though? I think they have. I think they struck the TARDIS set. Here, what's it? Let's ask Grok. Next.com. Grok. Has the TARDIS set from the Gatwa era been taken down? Let's see what the interwebs have to say. Searching. There's no definitive evidence for the provided in reference or in general knowledge to confirm the TARDIS set from the Era 15 Doctor has been taken down. Several sources discuss the TARDIS set being used during Gatwa Zero, which spanned 2 seasons and 2 Christmas specials, ending with his regeneration in 2025, the Reality War. This set in blah, 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 blah. It's a spacious, modern design, often described as a sterile Apple cathedral with glow. It will look, no, shit, I think it's how they should have described it. While Gatwa's exit from Ra has been confirmed, well, we've seen it, right? There's no explicit mention of the TARDIS set is being dismantled, given the show's ongoing production in the TARDIS Central World, but there is no ongoing production. It's like the set remains in use or in storage. I think in storage is much more likely. At Badwell Studios in Cardiff, where Doctor is filmed, especially as the series continues to with new episodes, but it's not. However, the TARDIS interior often changes. Okay, posts on X and web sources do not provide specific information about the set's status post Gatwa, and no reports indicating it's dismantling. The set, well, if the set was taken down, it would likely be due to a standard production practices such as redesign for the. But you know, you've got Billy Piper in there right now. You've got to pick up from the end of the episode. I guess you could do a virtual set or something, right? I guess, but I honestly, I do think it's been taken down, right? I do think it's been taken down, and whenever this piece of shit airs, oh god, I don't want to see it at all now. I think when that airs, we'll finally hear about what the plans for new Doctor Who is. Doctor Who spin-off star Russell Tovey says the show will give you palpitations. Well, that's probably true, as he reveals key differences to the main show. Main show's shit, but we're super shit. Yeah, no, the main show is queer shit, and we're queer shit. Well, what's the difference? Just, you know, no, there isn't any really. Heart palpitations, he says. You can expect heart palpitations, you can expect love again. Will it be gay love, by any perchance? Again, I love going back to that. It's driven by love. This guy, Russell Simmons' character Barclay, loves his life, loves his family, and will do anything to protect them. You're not going to be moved into. You're going to be moved and entertained with this. I don't trust a word you're saying, Russell. Right? It's set in this world, and this force comes upon us, and we feel like that's different in some ways to the way Doctor Who has been before. No, it's not, because it's always us visiting them. Whereas here it's like, what the fuck? It's like Independence Day. No, it's not always us visiting them. What a fuckwit. What a fuckwit. What sort of drew me to this is the paycheck, is that our world impending danger thrust upon us. During the panel with Ryland, Tovey also revealed it's a climate change of the series. Yawn. Well, the details yet to be announced. It's going to be air next year, and it will be the end of the turgid Hooniverse. Man, what a failure that was, right? What an absolute failure that was. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.